The wind carried the last screams across the valley. And then silence. That was the moment she realized. She was the only one left. Tala, an Apache woman barely in her 20s, stood in the ruins of her village, the smoke stinging her eyes and the dust clinging to her trembling fingers. Her family gone, her people taken. Everything she ever loved had been turned into a shadow behind her. And as the sun rose, the riders came. Not soldiers, not raiders, buyers. Men who saw the suffering of others as an opportunity. They formed a circle around the ruins, talking, pointing. One by one, they walked away with the survivors they found. Strong men, young women, children, all dragged away like cattle. But no one looked at Tala. She was bruised, dusty, and half-conscious. Too hurt to fetch a price. Too fierce-looking to be considered useful. Too quiet to appear obedient. By noon, they decided she wasn't worth anything. "Leave her," one man spat. "She's worthless." Worthless. The word pierced deeper than the cuts on her skin. And yet, that was the only reason she survived. As the riders dispersed, a lone figure remained on his horse. A rancher with sunburned skin, tired blue eyes, and a face that looked like it had known more regret than anger. He didn't speak at first. He just looked at her, and not with disgust, but with recognition. Something in her expression made him climb down slowly. "Tala, right?" he asked softly. She flinched. How did he know her name? The man removed his hat, letting the desert wind cool the sweat on his brow. "My name is Elias," he said. "Your father once saved my life." She searched his face. Memories flashed. Her father bringing home a stranger years ago. Wounded, half dead. A pale man who stayed for a week. Healed by Apache herbs and her mother's hands. That man, it was Elias. And now he had returned. But before we continue this powerful story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to channel name like, where every story reminds us that kindness still matters. Elias knelt a few feet away, careful not to scare her. "I owe a debt," he whispered. "Your father asked for nothing. Today I do the same. A debt, a promise, a crack of light in a world that had just collapsed." He offered her water. She hesitated, then took it, too thirsty to refuse. As she drank, her hands shook so violently he realized she hadn't eaten or rested in days. Elias sighed, guilt carving lines deeper across his face. "I wasn't fast enough," he said quietly. "If I had gotten here sooner—" "You couldn't have stopped them," she croaked. Her voice surprised even her. She hadn't spoken in hours. Elias nodded, accepting the truth but not forgiving himself. "I can take you with me," he said. "Only if you want. You'll have shelter, food, and time to heal." She looked at him, eyes hollow. "To be a servant?" Elias shook his head. "To be safe." Two simple words, but they felt heavier than the mountains around them. Tala was too weak to walk, so Elias carried her onto his horse. And for the first time since morning, she let herself close her eyes, trusting the arms that held her. Days passed at Elias's ranch. Tala barely spoke, barely ate. Trauma had wrapped itself around her like a second skin. Yet Elias never rushed her. He asked nothing from her. He gave her space, food, clean clothes. A quiet corner of the ranch where she could sit and breathe without fear. And slowly, the nightmares loosened their grip. She began helping with small chores, feeding the chickens, collecting brushwood, stitching torn clothing, not because he asked, but because she wanted something, anything, to remind her she still had purpose. One evening, as the sun bled orange across the prairie, Tala noticed Elias staring at the horizon, jaw clenched. "What troubles you?" she asked. It was the first full sentence she had spoken to him. Elias didn't answer right away. Then he sighed. "I know who took your people," he admitted, "and I've been trying to figure out how to tell you." Her heart froze. He explained how a gang of bounty opportunists had been raiding small settlements, selling captives to far-off camps. He had tracked them for weeks but never caught up with them in time. Tala's breath trembled. Her people were alive, but enslaved. And suddenly, the ember inside her, the one that had almost died, roared back to life. "We find them," she said. Elias looked at her in surprise. "Tala, they're dangerous men." "So am I." There was no fear in her voice now, only fire. The journey to rescue her people took them across harsh deserts and moonlit plains. Along the way, Elias realized something shocking. Tala wasn't broken. She wasn't weak. She wasn't worthless. She was a force. Her eyes sharpened, her steps strengthened, and the closer they got to the camp, the more her spirit seemed to resurrect. When they finally reached the captives, tired, bruised, but alive, Tala stepped forward and did something Elias never expected. She didn't scream. She didn't demand revenge. She didn't raise a weapon. Instead, she freed the children first. "Kindness," she whispered, "is the only way my people survive." Her calmness confused the guards long enough for Elias to disarm them. The rescue was fast, silent, and almost surreal. The captives wept as Tala helped them onto horses, tending to elders first, ignoring her own exhaustion. As dawn broke across the plains, her tribe, what remained of it, rode behind her. And Elias, riding beside her, realized something. The woman they had called worthless was the very reason hope had returned. When they reached the ranch, Tala stood before her people. "You were taken," she said, voice trembling with strength, "but not lost. No storm can break us. No cruelty can end us. We live because we rise for each other." Her tribe surrounded her, touching her shoulders, thanking her, crying with relief. And Elias turned away, tears stinging his eyes, humbled by her courage. That afternoon, Tala approached him quietly. "You didn't have to help me," she said. Elias smiled softly. "Your father once saved me without asking for anything." "And now?" she asked. "Now," he whispered, "I simply did what was right." Tala felt something warm spread through her chest. Not love, not yet, but gratitude so powerful it softened even her scars.